Hey everyone, Ace here from Ace's Space Astrophotography, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how Bruce Swartz from Bruce Sees All fakes his UFOs and biological creatures, as he likes to call them, on the moon. Right, so there's the dust mote on my sensor, and I'll prove it's on my sensor. I'll keep my mouse cursor over top of it, and wherever the telescope goes, that dust mote will follow, and it's fixed to the sensor. Now I'll go into the video that I processed in my software there, in my editing software. So let's go. Alright, so there's the dust mote, and I just put the cursor over it. Now it's gonna, I've processed this, and now I can make the dust mote move, look like a biological creature, just like Bruce does. And as you can see, there's my cursor, and the dust mote's moving by itself. Here you go. It'll go.
Archimedes Crater.
Such trophies. Archimedes Crater with the beautiful proof of showing life, maybe even biological creatures. Something no one has been able to show to the public thus far. What most of you don't know is that when I'm here with my telescope looking at the moon, this isn't something common. That's right, there's activity on the moon. At the moment, I was there. And it can happen. And let me tell you, all those hundreds of lights lighting up at the same time around these moving objects, nobody has any bloody clue what these objects can be or what we're looking at. I've done the research. I've looked up about transient lunar phenomenon or transient phenomena on the moon that are lights that light up for several seconds or minutes, have colors, they light up, and they disappear. But what I'm showing isn't transient lunar phenomena. It's lights that are moving on the surface. So let's call it moving transient phenomena, right? That doesn't exist. They're UFOs. The transient lunar phenomena on the surface of the moon doesn't drive around or fly around. But what I'm filming definitely does. And you guys know that if I show you this, it doesn't look like a UFO. And it's going to be very hard showing this as a UFO. So, have I started a new type of thing that I'm finding on the moon that I could label as a biological creature? It doesn't matter. No matter what I label it as, it's there. Now, these objects are going inside of the craters. So if they're going in and out of the craters, that means I'm finding more more proof of exactly what these objects are doing. In only a few years, I've been able to capture some pretty effing incredible objects that just baffle me as I see them flying towards the moon, some of them even exploding as they crash onto the moon. Now, if NASA says that there's no launches, and a couple of weeks go by and you see these large objects flying around or crashing into the moon, you know, they don't necessarily tell us everything that crashes into the moon, right? They probably don't even tell us anything that crashes into the moon unless they're deliberately doing it for a reason, for their benefit. You can be sure as hell. If they're telling us about UFOs, it's for their benefit. If they're telling humans now, well, humans, yes, the civilians more or less, us, about the UFO report, that could be because they need the people to react for some reason. We're dummies, right? We're puppets also. We talk about the presidents and everyone being puppets. They are, but so are we. We don't even know that we're puppets. That's the worst of it. We're being pulled left and right. Our reality is being pulled away from us. Do you realize that? They don't have to scream in your ear and tell you, believe one thing, believe one thing. They start changing reality. They tell you that 2 + 2 is no longer 4, and now it's 5. And people believe it because they trust the government. So they're going to believe it's 5. And anyone that's going to say that 2 + 2 is 4 is going to be hated by regular people, which is totally silly. Stupid trends. And that's what people do. They follow the trends of others. Frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. This is really awesome. It's on the surface of the moon. You just saw the telescope that caught that object hitting the moon, by the way, that you just saw was not an infrared. It was with a regular telescope, big 14-inch regular telescope, right? HD. Frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. That's a light on the surface. Is it transient lunar phenomena? Maybe that could be what they call transient lunar phenomena, but it's a very, very large object that lights at least 1.5 to 2 miles wide, at least, okay? And there's a line of fire going to the surface, and it lights up. But instead of it going out, it doesn't. It continues on its path, blinking, right? And not necessarily blinking, but turning itself off and then turning itself on as it appears further away. Is it because of the surface that we're seeing those lights? Is there a mechanism on the surface? Speaking of mechanisms, well, that's what we're going to go see right after this. I mean, just that, what I showed you, the frame 1, 2, and 3, it's like, what the hell, right? You have to document that and share that. That's what everyone's looking for. That's the funniest part. But anyways, I know why I'm hidden. What do you think of that? A sort of square. I've captured these objects in infrared and watched them close up their wings. You see a lot of fluttering lights going by there, appearing, and then you see that those wings close. Watch this. Literally opening up and closing up wings, and you'll see that both wings on each side of this triangular object closing up. It's not a plane, right? Like when you look at this object that's turning, that has objects, watch the objects appear that are in rotation around this object. Watch this. See that? I mean, these objects have different characteristics. You look at the one I just showed you, and you look at this one, and look at this one. That's an incredible explosion in space. I've only showed it once a while back. I'm going to get the intensity of the light up here. That's why you're seeing the sparkling, because I'm using the infrared camera, and I'm keeping the light high enough so you can see all those flashes. So instantaneously, 1, 2, 3, 4 big objects, and you could even see the line between them where they smashed into each other. That's an object in the middle of the sky that with the infrared camera was able to see these objects colliding or traveling through space. So it's not just one object. Is there debris in space? Yes. We know there's debris in space, so can some of this be debris? Blah, 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 whatever. It's not all debris, right? Maybe this is. Look at it. They're connected. They hit each other. Or it's something that broke up. It's something that detached itself right over our heads. Don't ask yourself why the trolls are so mad at me. Aside from the jealousy, watch this. This is the first time I got my telescope. I was setting it up. I had not even tried it. And look what I declared.
Right now, I'm going to work very hard to be able to learn how to operate this baby, guys. The minute the moon is out, I'm taking her out, shooting it right up, straight up to the moon, and we're going to get our first crafts, the first structure, clear as day. I'm not even worried. I can't wait. So see you then.
Only hours after I filmed for the first time with the telescope.
And so I set off on my
captured
spiritual journey
UFOs
and sharing it all with you
was
guys.
able to show
Finding the
structures
beautiful
before the end of the
surprises, hidden surprises on the surface of the moon. We're looking at smokes and hazes and UFOs prancing around, even some here that are flying by in the UFO fleet that I've been working on. Was able to zoom in with the 14-inch telescope to see that those little objects, once finding them, able to slow them down and to try to get into them to see their interaction. And my goodness, we're actually seeing some interaction with some projectiles, illuminated projectiles.
So, whether you think I sounded arrogant or too confident, it worked, and I knew I was going to find some. I was seeing them with the smaller telescope. Just not quite as close enough, right? With this, we're really close enough to see lots of details. This here, 2 UFOs arriving to the moon. This is with the camera, by the way. P900. Right on the edge of the moon. An illumination of light, which it's incredible because it illuminates the whole east side of the bloody moon. But that's nothing. See that on the left? Shadow lifted up off the surface. That's smoke at the back of that UFO or missile that was launched on the surface. If there's not a war, there's UFOs possibly driving around. Visual proof, we have it right here, right? Visual perceptions, visual illusions. I'm looking into all of that. In a couple of years, I will be able to explain to you all exactly what our eyes see, the lies, the truth. There's so much bullshit. Sorry, guys. There are so many piles and heaps and loads of bullshit out there with the UFOs, and it's really sad. Come springtime, people go outside and they start filming the effing bugs and insects and pollen, and they start adjusting the exposure. But remember this, people that capture UFOs will usually only have rare limited times that they capture these objects. If somebody captures something incredible 2, 3, 4, 5 times, maybe the person's telling the truth. Look at them here coming down. Look like wasps, right? Landing on the moon when you know they're not. And they're not small, boy, I'll tell you that. They're going down under the atmosphere, hazes and smokes as they're landing on the moon. Check that out. 1 and 2, right on the bloody moon. When I got reached by MUFON and certain associations and retired CIA agents and ufology associations in Quebec, government run, I said to myself, it doesn't matter what people think. I didn't care in the beginning, and I especially don't care now for those who disagree with the research. And I'm not talking about the ones that come over here and enjoy debating with me, but the jealousy, the madness of some of you because I captured these objects. Well, it's going to bite you in the ass because I'm only going to get more and more known. If you guys all think that hopefully his channel is going to go down, that would be the worst thing for you guys, because if my channel goes down, I'm going to be back even better. The cat's out of the bag. I don't have to get upset. Everything's been proven right here. Lots has been proven right here. Watch that, guys. Watch that object lift up off the surface, which, by the way, is illuminated now. Light's starting to go down as that other UFO is leaving, and then another UFO appears. Again, more of the bright light comes back. You see that? Right there. Right there is the proof. Let's see that one more time. Let's see that one more time. What happens? First sign, visual sign. A light everywhere. Then one appearing in the center coming this way, as you'll see it approaching slowly. I got the square there because something lifts up off the surface. And then we see a light right at the end of that getting even brighter as the other UFO goes away. There it is coming down to the surface, and it goes under the hazes as it goes down. Watch it. Oh, I didn't get it long enough. Doesn't matter. We'll see it here. There's something lifts up off the surface, backwards and forward. There we go. Quite enough. There's the proof. You saw it. I showed it 3 times on the left. Nothing comes up off the moon like that. Nothing. And then the light that comes down towards the surface and disappears. Ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this nice long video. Well worth it, because I appreciate the amazing support that you guys give here. Only 20 comments per video. The other comments that are there are my comments. I ask you one thing, my friends. If you trust that what I showed you is real and you appreciate it, thumbs up and subscribe.
Aliens up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mining on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.